Zup, y'all, Master Lee.
And Lulu.
Friendship, Lulu.
Oh, here we are again.
That's right. No more gore for you. Just friendship.
Oh, but I like gore too.
I know you do. That's why I love you. You are a rare catch in a woman. All right. Now, I know that you had a great time watching all the friendship fatalities from the latest Mortal Kombat 11. They were teasing them. And I wanted to go back and watch all the original ones.
This looks so old.
This is old school, baby.
School.
This is old school 2D, low-framed animation from Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And there were a bunch of friendships then. I honestly don't even remember most of these at this point because this thing was from 10, 15 years ago, really long time ago. And I wanted you to check them out. Just, go back and reminisce about the old friendships, right? This is all like for fun. This is not, meant to be mean or cruel. This is just a side of Mortal Kombat that I felt like when they introduced this back then, it was like, this is awesome. This is what having a good time playing the game's all about, not just excessive gore. And away we go.
Baraka wins.
That was lame.
Friendship again.
What's happening to her?
That's cute.
Cyrax wins.
They both look like they're dancing in the club.
Friendship again.
Why would they say again? Friendship again?
Magic.
Oh.
Wins.
Maybe because he's doing friendships over and over again.
Friendship again.
I don't actually remember hearing that from before. Maybe it's someone who's doing it too many times.
Are you kidding?
That's pretty clever.
Friendship again. Finisher. Jax wins.
I love how the breast is also like moving.
Jack's breasts are definitely worthy.
What was that?
Wins.
Paper cutouts. He's like,
Friendship again.
I bet it's gonna be like a signature or something like that. I knew it, an autograph.
Johnny Cage.
Why?
Wins.
Because
That's
he's a
thing.
movie star. So he's always like, oh, you want an autograph?
Wins. Friendship again. Sure. Wins.
That's pretty funny.
Friendship again.
How come when they lose, it looks like it's glitch?
Wins.
So
Friendship.
back then,
Friendship again.
one of the big problems with making games like this is memory. Because every frame increases the amount of memories being used, they had to use a very limited number of frames of animation per character. So that's why when he's moving around like that, it's literally
It's just
repeating again and again. So it's creating a loop.
But then why not just keep them on the ground instead of
I think it just
that?
adds to the comedy of this whole thing.
Friendship again. Okay.
I feel like I could create a TikTok on this. Like,
Friendship again.
They should create TikToks on Mortal Kombat friendships.
Melina.
You know what's really clever?
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that, because I've worked in the game industry for so long, I'm just noticing this. It's really hard to come up with new things that you want to show when, at this point, the game is probably already maxed out. In other words, they probably have very little amount of memory left to allow you to do these kind of animations. So they have to take existing animations as much as possible and redo it in a way that shows something different. Right? So like, for For bowling pins, all they're showing is a black ball and the bowling pin, but they had to. The animation of that falling down and moving is a freebie. That doesn't take a lot.
Oh, it doesn't take a lot.
But animation of a character takes a lot. So I'm willing to bet the movements there. See his movements there when he does that?
Yeah.
That is the same movement he already does in the game. But here he's applying to, well, what if it rains? And that's what's happening there. Water drop, it's one drop, water drop, repeated 10 times. And so it's very low amount of memory usage. So it's very, very clever, actually, how they can come up with so many and probably just only take up a very small amount of space for the game.
Learning something.
Reptile wins.
She ran.
That was pretty new.
Friendship again.
That was unexpected.
Scorpion wins.
That's why you notice, like with him and the last person,
The same.
it's the same type of animation with a slightly different look to it. It's trying to use as much of the assets and the things that they already created before.
Wins. Friendship again.
Oh, what was that?
Wins.
You turned into a tiny person.
Friendship again.
I've always liked her butt.
Really?
Look at that
The
butt.
waist.
The waist.
You like the
I
waist
like the waist.
because it
It's hot.
emphasized the bum bum more, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But, it's so amazing how the characters now, compared to before, it's so different.
Yeah.
Friendship.
It's almost hard to look at this and think back like, wow, I really used to play this game a lot and thought it was advanced graphics. And you look at it now like, Urgh.
Smoke wins.
That was dumb.
Friendship again. Smoke wins.
I think they're running out of ideas at this point.
Again.
Like I said, it's hard to come up with new stuff with such limited assets.
Sonia wins.
See, it's just a flower. Her animation, she already does that from the other parts of the game. So it's a flower repeated 10 times. He does look like a school crossing guard.
Sub-Zero wins.
That's cute.
That was cute.
Friendship again.
See the common thread here?
Friendship again.
So what was so fun about this back in the day is, unlike today where the internet is everywhere and you could instantly just look up, like we could just watch this like, boom, those are all the friendships and we got our fill for it. Back then, there's no way to easily know this stuff. The only way you could eventually learn this is by figuring it out on your own and then spread it from person to person to person, or waiting like 3 months for the magazines to come out that would give you the codes to do this. So the discovery of friendships was such a fun part of, and even fatalities, like of the game, like figuring out the moves, figuring everything out. It was one of two scenarios, right? One is you either get to enjoy and be part of the culture because you figured it out, or you were excluded from it because it was too hard to figure out for most people, or you got frustrated doing it, or you just like, yeah, whatever. But that's just the way it was. And maybe good or bad, look, you guys can debate. I will say that because as an old school gamer, I train myself in a way where I feel like I can solve anything. Like, if you can beat old school games and you can figure them out, I feel like you can conquer a lot in life today. So many of the games today are so much easier for you to figure out. You don't get frustrated when you run into a wall, you can't figure it out. Like the concept of throwing joysticks, like you can't do that like before because everything was tethered, right? It's not like you could have a remote joystick you could throw. It's just like, no, you just beat your head against a wall. You keep trying to figure it out. That was leveling up, Ludette. That was becoming a stronger person.
There's no way you have to figure out yourself.
You have to figure it out. Back then, games were $60. The whole idea of like used games was still pretty novel thing. So you bought a game, you were committed to figuring it out.
Problem solving.
Wow. And some of the games, oh my God, I even remember some of the games from back then, where you had a limited number of lives, you had to beat the game all the way through. Like if you got to the end, last level, you die, you would have to play it all over again from the beginning. Because there was no save points. There was no milestones that you could reach. Right. There was no codes to jump ahead.
I can feel the frustration.
Again. You're never too old to train your brain to butt heads against the wall and again and again and again. So eventually you win.